This video is all about a part of phonics teaching which I know is really challenging to teach, the alternative spellings and pronunciations of letters and groups of letters which are usually taught in Year 1. There's not much out there to help us teach Phase 5 rules for reading and spelling spectacularly well, so I really hope you find these simple explanations really helpful when it comes to explaining these tricky rules to your children. By the end of this film, you'll know all of the spelling rules you'll need to teach the A family spectacularly well in Year 1 and beyond. The most common way to spell the sound or phoneme A is with an AI. This is usually taught in reception class. You'll usually find this A in the middle of words, like in rain, pain, or chain, or longer words like train, brain, or paint. In Year 1, when children begin Phase 5 phonics, the first and most obvious alternative spelling that they need to learn is that AY is an alternative to AI, and it usually comes at the end of words. Words like way, day, or say, or longer words like play, stay, or holiday. Try to avoid exception words like crayon, or words with suffixes like ing in playing, just because to start with, they can make it really confusing for the children. Make sure they're really secure on the rule with AY at the end before you start adding extras or exceptions. The next alternative for the A sound or phoneme that children learn is the split digraph. This is when two letters make a sound, the A and the E making an A sound, but they are split with a letter squeezed in the middle. You'll recognise the A split digraph in words like came, take, sail, flake, or long words like milkshake. This all sounds much more complicated than it actually is. The A split digraph is really common in the English language, so children tend to pick this rule up quite quickly. But as before, there are exceptions to be aware of when you're teaching the A split E digraph. Try to avoid exceptions like have and words like age, because the children won't have been taught the G representing the J sound until much later on. The final rule for teaching the A phoneme or sound that children need to master is when to pronounce the letter A by its sound, and when to pronounce it by its letter name, A. Before you teach this rule, the children will need to have a basic understanding of syllables as beats in a word. For example, when we see an A at the beginning of one-syllable words like ant, act, and add, we would use the letter sound A rather than the letter name. But when we see an A at the beginning of a two-syllable word like acorn or apron or April, or near the beginning of a two-syllable word like lady, baby, or paper, we would use the letter name rather than the letter sound when we see the letter A. So there you have it, 4 really simple rules to support children in Year 1 to learn phonics spectacularly well. Remember, there are always exceptions to avoid, but as a general rule of thumb to get children started, AI is usually found in the middle of words, AY at the end of words, A split E, the split digraph, is really common, and it's the A and the E together that make the A sound. And A on its own makes its letter name rather than its letter sound, when it's at the beginning or near the beginning of two-syllable words. Comment below and let me know how you got on. I'd love to hear from you. And a bonus top tip for if you're wondering how to organise these rules in your teaching. Learning the alternative spellings and pronunciations of letters and sounds in the English language is tricky, so don't overwhelm the children by teaching these all in one go. Teach one alternative thoroughly, then investigate other sound or phoneme families before revisiting A again. This is so important because it gives the children time to practice and apply their prior learning before they build on this with the new rule. If you found this video helpful, I've got a freebie that I think will be really useful for you too. It's a PDF guide of all of the alternative spellings and pronunciations that you'll need to be able to teach Phase 5 spectacularly well. It's linked in the description below. I've also included a link to some free slides that I use to make the alternative spellings and pronunciations really obvious to the children. I use these as slides, but I also use them as visual prompts to remind the children of the rules we've been learning throughout the day. I find these really helpful, and the children really engage with them. And if you're working with children with any kinds of phonic gaps and you're looking for some inspiration for how to spot and address the phonic gaps for rapid results, then check out these videos. They give you some really simple games that you can play to support children without having to spend hours on planning and resourcing. If this video has been useful, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified for new phonics and early reading videos every single Thursday. And we'd love you to come and join our Letters and Sounds Facebook community, where we're a group of teachers and teaching assistants from all over the world sharing top tips and ideas for phonics every single day. See you soon!